Hey guys, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday. It's Tuesday, July 3rd, 2012. This is Jennifer. I have a million things to show you, so we're going to start right now. Very first thing, I have two thank yous to give to Clumsy Cord. First of all, I completely forgot to show you guys this previously. I won her drawing that she did not long ago, and she gave away a big pack of 30s reproduction prints, which this just kind of doubled my 30s reproduction print stash, so I'm really excited to have these. So thank you, Clumsy Cord. Also, just yesterday in the mail, I got the gorgeous quilt top that she showed in her Talk to Me Tuesday last week. This is the wonky star top that Clumsy Cord showed last week, and she sent that to me for the Linus Connection, so I will have this quilted and it'll go out to a child in need. So another big thank you to Clumsy Cord for that. Something really fun and fast. I was sewing at a local stitching place. It's called the Stitching Studio. It is a non-profit. They have a little store in the studio as well as an area of free things. And in the free things, I found this pattern for neckties. And as some of you might know, my son, who is 14, loves wearing suits. He wears a suit to school once a week just because, and he loves ties. So I thought this would be really fun, and I'm going to see if I can find some fun fabrics to make him some really custom, fun ties. So that was fun. I haven't tried ties before, so that'll be a new experience for me. Speaking of Gareth, his costume for Saturday is completely done. Anime Overload is Saturday, and my kids will both be going in costume. I finished his horns, and they look like this. So let me see. I think they go like that. So I did read a bunch of tutorials online, and one of the things that I read from different costumers was it was easier to wear horns if they have a ribbon strung through them and you can tie them on than a headband, which is really uncomfortable and bulky. So they have a little hole where the tie will actually go through, and we're probably going to make a little holes in his wig and put them flush to his head so that they look like they're coming out of the wig. So these are done, and we just have to do a trial run, which will probably be tomorrow, and make sure all the pieces go together. I have been sewing so much this last week, you guys. I went to a sewing day on Friday with a bunch of my friends, and I stitched together a whole bunch of stuff. I pieced my June 12th for 2012, and it was June 29th when I did that, so I did finish it in June. Get to the point I wanted to be anyway. So that is actually behind me. So this embroidered snowball quilt is my June 12th for 2012. These embroidery blocks were from a block of the month I did last year, and there were more blocks, but I only did the embroidered ones because I wanted a different layout than the block of the month was offering. And these are the blocks that I did to learn how to embroider so that I can embroider titles on my Project of Doom. Unfortunately, this blog doesn't exist anymore, and the patterns aren't online anymore, but they're great, beautiful embroidery patterns, and I really enjoyed learning to embroider using these like sort of retro patterns. Also, you may see over my shoulder that there's a TARDIS right there. This is a little piece I did last week called Vacation Plans, because I was reworking my TARDIS pattern for Fandom and Stitches, and while I was redrawing it, I thought, you know, wouldn't it be cool just to have the TARDIS sort of like floating with a larger background? And then I thought, I really have to do that. So I did, and I free motion quilted it, which I'm going to show you. So I sort of used this background as the inspiration because it has all these swirlies. And when I actually started, I started over here, and I was following the swirls, and then I kind of stopped following the swirls because they weren't really leading into each other really naturally. But this whole thing is free motion quilted, and I'll show you the back because you can see the quilting. This is the first time I've done a design like this, and I really enjoyed it. I've been trying more and more to branch out from my just plain meander that I do. I do a lot of stippling, so I'm really happy with this quilt. It was a happy piece to work on. I made the whole thing in one day. I actually did the binding and completely machine stitched it on and didn't like it. So I ripped it all off and I did it again and then put this binding on and then hand stitched it on the back. And this also has the little corners like I like to do with an extra one down here for the label. So I realized last week that I've already done my July 12 for 2012, it was the New York Beauty quilt. So I went ahead and started working on my August one, which is a block of the month from last year called Five at the Hive. It's hosted by Honeybee Quilt Store, where I teach, and I used to work there, and my daughter works there now. So if you go in, make sure you say hi to Elena. She works Thursdays and Fridays, except for this week because she leaves for France on Monday, so she's getting ready for her trip. But in about 2.5 weeks, she'll be back, and she will be back at work at Honeybee. Anyway, so this is my Five at the Hive. I have 4 more blocks to make, and then I can put this quilt together. And this is earmarked for a Christmas gift for someone that I have not made a quilt for. So I'm really excited about that. So this is Five at the Hive. This was all designed by Sue Carter, who previously worked at Honeybee, and she still runs Five at the Hive. And she's a friend of mine as well. I am participating in HP 5 Freak Swap. She's doing a private swap for some friends on LiveJournal. And the idea is you take a tote bag and you fill it up with stuff like craft stuff, fabric, yarn, buttons, whatever. So I wanted to do that, and I went through my tote bags. I have a lot of tote bags, but I decided it's not a make something swap, but I really wanted to make one thing for it, and I decided the tote bag was what I wanted to make. So I asked her a question about what the people in the group might be interested in. My specific question is, are they all Harry Potter fans? Because we don't have partners, we all make something and then she chooses names and we'll send them off. So I made this tote for my swap. So this is my tote bag for the summer swap, and I've already, you can hear, I've already started filling it with goodies. I have a lot of craft supplies, and this is a big bag. You can see that it's a big bag, and I'm filling it with all kinds of good stuff. So I added some fabric. This is a Harry Potter pillow panel, which, if you guys don't know, these things are incredibly rare. I just happen to have about 10 of them. So I thought it would be awesome to make a tote bag for this swap. It's got red on the bottom, there's blue on the top, handles are green, and the inside is yellow and has a pocket. The inside's actually pieced because I use different fabrics. You can see all the different, there are like 3 or 4 different yellows in there to get that lining to be the right size. And this is actually, this is a little flap. I've got it secured on the side so it doesn't pop up, but it's a little flap. You probably think I'm done, but I still have more stuff. On Sunday, I pulled my serger out, which wasn't hard because it was just pressed against the wall. It wasn't really put away. I had 2 giant containers full of t-shirts that had been pulled out of various family members' closets during the last few years, and the t-shirts I had set aside for reconstruction or, you know, doing it, fixing other things or whatever. And since my husband is significantly larger than me, I've mentioned this before, but I'm 5'5", he's almost 6.5 feet tall, so he wears a double extra large t-shirt and I wear a small or a medium t-shirt. So I can use his t-shirts and I can do all kinds of fun things to them. So I saw something similar in a picture somewhere online, and I thought I can do that. That would be super easy. So this was a double extra large t-shirt, and I cut the sides, I took the sleeves off, I cut the neck out just below the collar all the way around. And then this was a strip I cut off the bottom. I made a 3-inch strip and then gathered it, stitched it on. I really like it. I like the way it wears. The ruffle was a little fluffier when I first made it, but I did wash it Sunday or Monday, and so it's not as fluffy now, but it still wears really nice. That was only one of 8 t-shirts I reconstructed on Sunday. Most of the rest of them I just resized so that they would fit me. I had several that I didn't like the sleeves on, or I have really narrow shoulders right here, so what I like to do is take the shoulders up in my t-shirts so that my sleeve starts here instead of down halfway down my shoulder. So I did that. I took the neck out of a couple of shirts. This is one of them. This was actually my Lumos shirt. Stand on my tiptoes. This is my Lumos shirt from 2006, which was a Harry Potter conference I went to in Las Vegas with my friend Hope. And I met lots of awesome people there. And I hadn't worn this shirt for a really long time because I had reconstructed it once, and it was before I kind of figured out the whole she-shirt thing, and it didn't fit quite right, and I didn't put sleeves on it when I reconstructed it, and it just bothered me. So I took it all apart, pulled all the stitches out, and completely reconstructed it. These sleeves are actually fabric from another white t-shirt that I made out of like the bottom piece of the t-shirt, and I just made the sleeves so that I would have sleeves on this shirt. I'm not going to show you the other 6 because they're in my closet and they're not that exciting. They're just, I just resized t-shirts. One thing I did do that was a little bit different is I used more of a blouse for the shape of the t-shirts, and on a couple of them, like mostly I do like a slightly curved bottom on the shirts so that they ride really nicely around the hips. But one of the things I did on one of the t-shirts is I did an angle, so it's an asymmetrical bottom, and it actually looks really good. I'm happy with that one. That was sort of experimental, so I did it on a t-shirt I didn't really care about, but it came out really cute. I'll have to wear it in another Talk to Me Tuesday. So announcements. The Sew Hooked Summer Challenge poll is up. There is a poll on Sew Hooked. You can vote until, I think I have it set for midnight on Sunday night / Monday morning. Go vote. There are 14 entries. Some of them are from Talk to Me Tuesdays. There are some really fun ones. I challenge you guys to be creative and take a picture of something you made from one of my patterns and do it in a really interesting place, and the pictures are great. So you guys go check it out, vote. There's a big prize pack for that. Fandom in Stitches. Our first ever design challenge started yesterday. The design challenge is Rock Our Socks, and the theme is music. So design a musically themed quilt block and pattern. The point is that you're going to share the pattern through Fandom in Stitches, and it has to be a musical fandom. So it's not just, you know, music notes or you know, radios or whatever. It's actually fandom related. So you can go look at the music page on Fandom in Stitches to get ideas of what that means. We have like the Heart Grenade from the Green Day American Idiot album. We have the Lion King from the Broadway musical. We have Wizard of Oz patterns. We have Glee patterns. That's what I mean when I say music. So it needs to be a musical fandom. So like it could be a band or a favorite song or a Broadway musical or something that's fandom related. So anyway, that's going to be really excited. I'm hoping we get some new designers who've been wanting to try to design but they weren't sure. It can be any technique. It can be paper pieced, which we have a lot of those. It can be applique, embroidery, cross stitch. It can be mosaic. And when I say mosaic quilts, I mean like the patchwork quilts that are on a grid. Like the Tails quilt I did for Gareth was on a grid. It's his video game quilt I've shown you guys before. I'll put a link to that in the description so you can see what I mean. But I've seen a lot of blocks of like Pac-Man and the Ghost and things like that from different video games. Mario. That kind of pattern is what I'm talking about. So you guys think about that. If you've never designed something before and you are a quilter or you want to be a quilter and you want to design something, definitely do it. Read all the rules are on Fandom in Stitches. You'll see that. I'll put that in the link. So anyway, I think that's it for announcements this week. I hope you guys have a super crafty week. I had a crazy, awesome crafty week. Sewing with friends helps me get so much done, and it is so inspiring. It makes me want to just keep going and going and going. And I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to vote. Bye. I almost forgot, tomorrow is There and Back Again on Fandom in Stitches. You guys come check it out. We have a brand new pattern posting tomorrow, designed by Michelle. It's fantastic. You guys are going to love it. August, no, yes. Oh.